Hey everybody, so I have news. That might even be a little bit surprising to some considering my other videos leading up to this, but I am not single as fuck anymore. Like, I am not single. I'm actually happy. I'm very, very happy to say that I'm not single and that Stafford and I are back together again. I am beyond belief thankful and happy and excited, and it's what I hoped for, I guess, but didn't really plan on, I guess. So let me give you a lead into everything and like a backstory so that you kind of know. Stafford and I never ever stopped talking. We would at least text every single day. Sometimes it was a conversation. Sometimes it was us just pissed about where we were at and blaming each other and getting so frustrated and mad at each other. And yeah, so sometimes the conversations weren't that great. There were bad things that happened in there, but there were really great things that happened in there too. And we would continually try to reconnect, but it was kind of just headbutting. It didn't work quite like we had planned or hoped. There was once in the time that he actually came over and we tried to do dinner together. Didn't work because we were both just very frustrated about where we were. We weren't willing to admit that we were both frustrated about where we were. Instead, we were very prideful about where we were. We were very, I guess, cocky and arrogant about, oh, well, I have this great boyfriend. Oh, well, I'm loving being single. You know, it was bad. It's bad. It was bad. Then there was a time that Stafford came over. For a while, Stafford kept his stuff here at our place. I still call it our place. I've always called it our place. And so he was able to come as he needed, and the whole deal was he was supposed to let me know before he came. And we were supposed to agree that he could come. Well, he came over one day and there was a guy here, and yeah, neither of us handled it very well. Stafford ended up taking the rest of his stuff then. But even after that, we couldn't stop talking. We would continually reach out to each other, and then we tried our hardest to not talk to each other, to give up on each other, to give up on us. We gave it our best shot. Like, I would ignore him all day long and then return a text and be like, okay, I'll say hi or whatever. And then the same thing with him. He would be so busy with other things or not busy and just ignoring me, and then at the end of the day be like, hey, and we would sometimes just talk just a little bit. And it's crazy because our conversations about us never talking again led to us talking more. They were always because we were both, I feel like it was because we were both very scared of letting each other go and it being completely done. So we didn't ever let it completely end. I don't think we would have, because we love one another. I love Stafford with everything in me. I think I've voiced that in videos too. But I absolutely love Stafford with everything in me. He is my everything. And so there's kind of the backstory. We did this off and on for like 3 months while Stafford was in a relationship, while I was being single and meeting guys and having my fun and doing dates. We continually tried to disconnect, but always ended up staying connected. And whenever we tried, the harder we tried, the more connected we became. Then one day he called me and he was like, this is our love story. This is part of our love story. This is part of who we are. And I'm sharing it alone, and he probably should be here. He's not. He's busy at school. But and I don't know if I'm going to include him in videos. If he wants to, I'm more than open to that, of course. But if not, I just would be happy with it being private, but I'm gonna still tell my side of the story because it's an amazing thing to me, and I love it, and I love being able to tell our story. I love our story from beginning to end. I love every bit of it. Like there are struggles. There are a lot of struggles. But at the end of the day, we always end up making it through the struggle, and that's amazing to me. We love one another so much that we end up making it through the struggle. I'm going to share a video. I'll share a video eventually of our story, like how we met and everything. But anyway, he called me one day and was like, "Hey, this is going to sound odd, but..." And no, actually, it was a very quick conversation. It wasn't even "this is going to sound odd." He was like, "Hey, I'm going to see Ben Rector. I talked to Sydney. Sydney's his sister. And I talked to Andrew. Andrew was his boyfriend at the time. And neither of them want to go with me to see Ben Rector. Would you like to go?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Okay, it's on October 1st. And then it was like, "I'll talk to you later. Bye." And it was just very quick. It was a very quick conversation. I think that he told me later it was like 40 seconds. 40-second conversation, and it was done. And I was like, okay, so I guess we're going to go to a concert together. Ben Rector, the first week that we met, that Stafford and I met, he introduced me to Ben Rector's music, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It was really good. And then ever since then, Ben Rector has released songs that that are love songs and that are cute and that are just songs that we both really enjoy. So Ben Rector has kind of been like somebody that's an artist that's been in our relationships from the beginning. This concert was set to take place the night of October 1st. Our 2-year anniversary is October 2nd. We met on October 2nd of 2014. And we consider that our anniversary of meeting, and when we finally got to meet each other. Like, that's the anniversary we go off of. I think it'll be the anniversary we go off of forever. Anyway, so he did that, and I said yes. And I feel like that kind of opened a door for him to be like, okay, Jeremy is at least interested enough to be friends and hang out. And I was so excited. I was so excited to be able to, not necessarily about Ben Rector even, I was excited about being able to spend time with Stafford and seeing how that went. I was scared. I was scared that it could have gone really bad, similar to us trying to make dinner together. But it didn't go really bad. In fact, prior to that, Stafford had contacted me and was like, "Hey, would you also like to go to Disney World on the 27th of September?" And I was like, "Sure." And we did that, and whenever we did that, we reconnected. And we didn't know, I didn't know, and I don't feel like he knew what we were going to do or how we were going to do it, or what we'd end up being, if we'd end up being anything, but we both knew we reconnected. And it was very special. But we both had our things to get through. He was still in a relationship and wasn't sure about ending that. I don't feel like he was sure about ending that at the time. And I was still working on, and still am working on, finding a good balance in my life. So yeah, so we met up and things happened, and then October 1st rolled around and went to go see Ben Rector, and things happened, and then after that, it's always been about trying to figure out how we work together. What are we? How do we make this work? And I ended up going to San Francisco. He ended up here in Orlando through the storm, and his birthday happened that week. And I missed him so much. Like I had wished I was here for the storm, for the hurricane, to be here and hold him. And I really wish I had been here. It was the first birthday of his that I've missed since we've known each other. And one of those birthdays was when we first met. So his birthday is a big thing to me. And I had just wished I had been here for it. Anyway, push come shove, everything gets done. We then decide that, maybe we should let each other go for a couple of years, like for a few years, and then come back. We decided on that, we talked about it, but again, whenever we talk about never seeing each other again and it being over, it brings us closer. It always brings us closer. We never are able to stop. But this time I was like, you know what? No. If he says he wants it to be done, I'm going to let it be done. And so whenever he would text me, I wouldn't text back. Whenever he would call, I wouldn't call back. And I would go a day without texting or responding to him. And then later in the night, again, I would be like, hey, and somewhere in there he figured out that I was dating. And I feel like that's whenever he finally figured out that, hey, Jeremy could move on and I could really lose him. And he very well could have, but he didn't let it happen. One of the days I ignored his text in the morning. I had walked to a local Starbucks and was walking back, and I see his car, and he pulls off into a parking lot for a store on my walk back, and he gets out and he's walking towards me, and I'm like, what's going to happen? And he's like, can we talk? I was like, yes, we can talk. And he's like, can I drive you home? And I was like, yes, you can drive me home. And then we were driving home, and he telling me about how he can't live without me either, and how he thinks about me every day, and that he's still in love with me, and he doesn't want to lose me, and that he knows that the relationship that he was in at that time wasn't right for him, and wasn't something that was going to be a long-lasting thing, and definitely not a lifelong thing. And he said he would do anything to get me back. He would do anything to win me back. And then he talked about how he talked to one of his best friends, and that best friend told him that he's like, how do you, like, whenever you think of a tree and you have these limbs and you have these leaves, what is Andrew, which is the other guy? And Stafford's like, well, I would probably put him as a leaf, like just kind of there, just it makes a tree, but it's not the most important part by any means. And he's like, well, it's Jeremy. And he was like, Jeremy's a root. Jeremy is like the thing that's one of the things that's most important to me. He's going to be there forever. He's the root. And he was like, I realized all that, and I don't want to lose you, and I know that I chance losing you, and I would do anything to win you back. And I told him it would take a lot of work, and it will. It'll take a lot of work for both of us. I feel like I have to earn him back too. Like we both have to earn each other back, and we both know that we're madly in love with one another. We both know that we're meant to be together. It's just a lot of work. I'm starting out with my photography stuff still. He's going to school and starting with that, but we ended up spending time this last week, and we decided that we want to move forward as boyfriends. We're going to do things a little bit differently, but we want to move forward as boyfriends and move towards a life together. And so just as proud, more proud than I was with making the video about being, because I made a video about being single as fuck, I am very proud to say that I am not single as fuck anymore, and that I am in a relationship and as excited as fuck about this relationship. And I'm happy that I have Stafford back and that we're working towards us again. It means the world to me. Like I can't put into words like how excited I am about it and just how much I love him. So I gave the news about being single as fuck, and I wanted to give the news about this relationship and where we're going and what we're doing, and yeah. And you'll see Stafford, I'm sure that he's going to still be in videos sometimes. Maybe not as much, but he'll be in videos. I'm pretty sure of it. I miss him. I've missed him so bad. And yeah, so that's my news. And I just ask for positive vibes and positive thoughts and no negativity, please. But that's where I'm at. That's what's going on in my life. I wanted to share. I hope you have a great day, and I, and maybe even Stafford, will talk to you later.